Hello, beautiful people. I hope you're well. Awesome Boone here, and I thought I'd just do a short video to talk a little bit more about the amazing weekend I've just had on this fantastic course called The Balance of Power by this fantastic guy called Rory Kilmartin. It is all about understanding our most deepest, most intimate relationships that we have with the people that we love in our lives. And you might be asking yourself, why is this so important? Well, because if we do not learn how to communicate effectively with our loved ones, then, well, quite often we screw up, don't we? We say something, we do something which vexes our loved one, and then what usually happens? Some sort of contretemps, some sort of fight, some sort of argument. Now, do you enjoy arguments? Do you enjoy arguing with your loved ones? Because I sure as hell do not. I get literally no enjoyment out of arguing with my wife or anyone that I love at all. In actual fact, it's one of the things which distresses me the most. And it's something that I've really had to own massively over the last 18 months since I really sort of started my deep healing journey. And as many as you know, I sort of have dived deep into the world of psychedelic healing plants. And when you do deep work using plant medicines like that, it does really show you who you are, warts and all. And as popular as I might be now, and as interesting as I might be, and all the wonderful advice I'm able to give you, I haven't always been quite this fantastic. And for many, many years, I really, really struggled with mental health issues. I had just horrendous anxiety. I lived with horrendous depression. And I used to beat myself up mentally every single day, pretty much 24/7. There was just this toxic tsunami soup of emotions just floating around my thought processes and kicking off my physical body and all these emotions and horrible feelings every single day. And to kind of counteract that, I had to drink. And I drank a lot. I drank a lot of alcohol, and probably on average over 100 units every single week for years and years and years. Abused illegal drugs, abused prescription drugs, abused anything just to try and make my reality just that little bit softer. And guess what? None of it worked. Like literally, none of it worked. Although I'd convinced myself, I'd lied to myself every single day. I'd tell myself little stories. Not little stories, in fact, huge stories. Years of stories of why I couldn't heal, why I couldn't face up to my demons, why I couldn't get the courage to go and do my shadow work. Now, we all have demons, absolutely. It's part of being human, I guess. And we all have traumas from our pasts. And some of us are good at dealing with those, and some of us are just not particularly good at dealing with those. And there is no right or wrong. Me, personally, I don't think I was particularly good at dealing with my past traumas. Fairly ironic, really, considering I've spent the last 23 years helping other people fix and heal from their past traumas, their addictions, their issues, their hang-ups, their fears, their worries. So often you see that, isn't it? The therapists themselves, it's probably more screwed up than the client. I've certainly seen that in my work over the years, and I certainly fell into that category for a long period of time. Thankfully now, since having my, what can only be described as a phenomenal transformation this time last year when I was in southern Italy, and I just went into the ayahuasca ceremonies with the mindset that I had absolutely nothing to lose and just absolutely everything to gain. And well, in a nutshell, that experience fundamentally, completely, radically changed my reality, changed my life. I woke up after the last ayahuasca session and I knew I was never going to drink again. And I haven't touched a drop of alcohol in nearly 14 months, and I have no intention ever to touch that poison ever again. Sure, I might enjoy the odd smoke with friends when I'm out, but hey ho, what is wrong with that? We all need a little something, don't we, just to relax. My point is that I took myself on a very deep healing journey, and at times it was awful. It was horrid. It was scary. It was lonely. It was depressing. And I didn't know if I was ever going to get out the other side. Thankfully, with the love and support of the most amazing team who've been looking after me for the last 2 years, I was able to process, I was able to heal, I was able to free myself of the anxiety, the depression. And thankfully, I was able to find the most incredible mentor who has just fundamentally changed my world. And it goes to show that in this day and age that I think we all need to heal. None of us are exempt from pain. None of us exempt from trauma from our past. And the importance of healing is just growing and growing and growing. This isn't some sort of woo-woo, new age, hippie BS. This is something really important. This is something to really consider, because when we do not heal, we can never become the very best versions of ourselves. Now, what does that mean? Well, if you're never going to be the very best version of you, you're going to miss out on all of your life's intrinsic magic, right? Because if you can't be the very best version of you, then that is going to affect your friendships. That's going to affect your intimate relationships with the people that you really love. That's going to affect your career. That's going to affect you on just so many levels that you're not even consciously aware of at the moment. This is why healing is so important. This is why I've spent the last 2 years on the deepest, most profound self-improvement drive I have ever done in my life. The idea of addressing my pain, my fears, my darkness, my shadow, my BS, and trust me, beautiful souls, I had tons of BS. I was the master of bullshit. I was the master of creating stories after stories after stories after stories, justification after justification, all fear-based, all just designed perfectly by me to keep me perfectly stuck at life. And at nearly 40, I'm 40 in a couple of weeks' time, it just got to a stage where I was just like, if I don't make changes now, it's going to cost me everything. And I mean everything. And my journey over the last year especially has been brutal. Absolutely brutal. I have had to face up. I've had to stare in the face. I've had to friend all of my biggest fears, my deepest, darkest aspects, my darkest shadow. Because we all have shadows. We all have darkness inside of us. And as I said, we all have trauma. We all have BS. We all have situations in our past which will hold us back. And sadly, we live in this sort of society where we don't really encourage healing to the degree that I've taken it over the last year. We don't support people with mental health enough. Yeah, sure, the media have latched onto mental health now as some sort of like on-trend topic to discuss. But let's face it, there's very, very little progressive, incredible mental health support for people. Most people, if you go and ask your doctor for help, you just get prescribed tablets. Now, I'm not going to completely slam Big Pharma. Well, maybe I might. But, you know, their tablets just don't work. And literally, they don't work at all. I know so many people who are depressed, who are on antidepressants, and they spend years and years and years, and every single time they go to the doctor just ups the dose. And yet, I struggle to understand why as a society we don't allow this conversation about using plant medicines. It's something the government's very fearful to discuss. It's something actually the majority of the public are fearful to discuss. The idea of using a psychedelic plant to heal you, for most people, is just terrifying. Absolutely terrifying. Like, how does that even work? Why would you even do that? I thought that, right? I was in that same mindset. I was just like, how on earth? But I can genuinely say to you souls now that, and I've spent the best part of 25 years working in mental health. I've worked with thousands of people all over the world now. And very little comes anywhere close to what plant medicines can help unlock, can help heal. And for me, I've done a combination. I've used plant medicines to do deep, deep healing work. I've used this amazing system called the Unity Bubble, which is just this incredible, deep, energetic, spiritual technology, which is fairly challenging to explain, but it just works on the most ridiculous level. And doing the program with my mentor has just been life-changing, like absolutely life-changing. When people say to me, they come up to me, they're just like, oh, Urs, your energy, man, it's intoxicating. So much energy, so positive. How do you do it? I'll tell you how I did it. I healed. I fixed my shit. Because when you fix your shit, when you heal, you start to understand just how much energy you've been using to try and keep control of all your wounds, trying to keep control of your ego. Oh, God. Don't get me started on ego. That's a whole new video, which I will do. But it's our ego. Our ego holds us back massively. And coming back to this wonderful relationship course I was on, ego. My ego has probably destroyed most of my most intimate relationships with my past wife, past girlfriends, past friends. Our egos. Whew. Tricky son of a bitch, the ego. But also beautiful and totally intrinsic and so important to this human experience that we're having. But it's something that we need to master. And this is something that I've learned over the last sort of 2 years, and especially in the last year. Especially when I've been working one-to-one with my wonderful mentor, who has just helped me, as I've said, reach this amazing point in my life where now, if I look back on my life 14 months ago, as I was saying to my cousin and his wife the other day, 14 months ago, I was just your average normal alcoholic suffering with mental health issues in complete denial, head firmly stuck in the sand, that nothing was wrong with me. There was this blame, there was this justification, there was this victim mentality in me. Huge bloody ego who would shut anyone down, who would dare suggest that I had a drinking problem or an addiction problem. My poor wife, bless her, she bore the brunt of most of that when she would just only highlight the truth. She would tell me the truth and I would just shut her down because my ego didn't want to deal with that. Can't be an alcoholic. No, nothing wrong with me, love. 100 units of alcohol every single week. That's the equivalent to 10 litres of vodka a month. So much denial. So much delusion. Master of it I was. Absolute master of it. And what I want to say is, ultimately, is that I know literally thousands of you message me every single month who struggle as well, just like I used to. And I just want to say that there is help out there. I'm here to help those of you who are very serious about healing. I've got the most amazing 16-week program which will radically change your life. Should you really want to invest in really changing your life, it's not going to be easy. Healing isn't easy. It's painful. It's hard. You will cry. You'll cry lots. You'll feel like shit at times. And that's what you need to do to heal, to get rid of this toxic energy that we hold about. Because ultimately what we're talking about, and this is the crazy thing, right, in life, is that everything that was holding me back, everything which was making me drink, all of that trauma, all of that crap from my past, all that stuff from my childhood, was exactly that. It was in the past, right? And the past no longer exists. It literally, it doesn't exist. So I was tormenting myself every single day with memory and imagination. Crazy. I mean, talk about self-sabotaging behaviour. I was self-sabotaging my entire life. And this is the problem I've realised, is that most of us, we are our own worst enemies because of the stories we create in our head. And because we create these amazing stories in our head, then our physical body responds and creates all the emotions associated with these silly little stories that we're telling in our head. And before we realise it, we're in this full-blown experience which, as far as our physical body is concerned, is real. It's not real at all. It's not real at all, but it feels very, very real. And then we go and make life decisions because of these stories we've created in our heads and because of these feelings that we now have due to these stories that we've created. Do you see how we end up self-sabotaging ourselves? It's madness, guys. It's absolute bloody madness. But I'm going to round up this video. But before I go, I'm going to make 2 offers. One, for those of you out there who are interested in really, and I mean really, sorting out everything that holds you back, fixing everything which stops you becoming the very best, incredible version of yourself, then I offer radical one-to-one coaching sessions. Now, this isn't any old therapy. This is Boon therapy, Boon style therapy. It will be fun. It will be challenging. It will be hard. And you certainly will cry. But I promise you, I will change your life. And I will help you beyond your imagination, beyond anything you can possibly understand. And I'm able to do that. Why? Because I've come from that spot. I've been there. I've been in the gutter emotionally. I've had those suicidal thoughts. I have thought about it so many times it scares me. I know what it feels like to feel that pain. I know what it feels like to feel completely and utterly bloody lost in this world. I know what it feels like to feel terrified. I know what it feels like to feel anxious, depressed, all of it. I've experienced all that darkness. I've dived head first into my own darkness. So if you'd like to, and this is just an invitation, quite a few people are already messaging me, but if you'd like to, I am going to be opening up my books very soon to deal with one-to-one coaching and do small group work with people. Also, my second invitation is that I am starting it's going to start off being a bi-monthly. So it's every 2 weeks, a online chat room. And this is going to be a video chat room. We can have up to 100 people in there. We won't have 100 people in there because I think that'd be just too much. Probably going to be looking at about teams of 10. And every 2 weeks, and this is completely free, we're going to dial in with me and a group of people, and we're going to start talking about mental health issues. We're going to talk about health. We're going to talk about wellness. We're going to be talking about making this human experience better for us. We're going to be offering tips, guidance, support. So if you're interested in taking part in these conversations and meeting like-minded human beings just like you, who also struggle with lives and want to improve the existence that they have, then all you need to do is just DM me with your email address and I will stick you on the mailing list. So when I do start these talks, then you can just easily just click a quick link and come and join us. It's going to be really interesting. The conversations are going to be deep. They'll be fantastic. They'll be hugely interesting and no doubt very, very enlightening for lots of you. So if you are interested in that, remember, just DM me. If you're interested in the coaching, DM me as well. But other than that, I would just like to wish you all the most incredible day and big love from Boon.